Laipni lūgti Rīgas Jūrmālas festivāla preses konferencē. Preses konferences notiks angļu valodā. Ja kādam vajag tulkojumu, nekautrēties, paceļiet roku. Kāds no kolēģiem, kāds pienāks klāt, jums patulkos. Let's start. Hello and welcome to press conference of Riga Jūrmala Music Festival. Usually press conferences are held at the beginning of the festival. Well, this year is different in very many respects. And we have double reason to celebrate. The first reason is the opening of the most anticipated weekend of our festival. And then can we switch down the music, please? So the most anticipated weekend of our festival, and I have no words to tell how much it means both to Riga and Latvia to welcome beloved maestro Andris Nelsons back and with the all Wagner program with Bayreuth Festival Orchestra for the first time and such distinguished Wagner singers. So that is first round of applauses to that. And second reason to celebrate is the fact, and the reason why we're having press conference at the end is I can admit that after 2 cancellations of orchestra, we were not sure we'll be able to make it till the end. So we have a reason to celebrate, and it is grand finale of our festival, the 4th weekend. And before I start, I'll do a small recap on this year, and then we'll move to the most important part of this press conference with Martin having a discussion or moderating discussion with our artists. And let me introduce you the participants of the conference, and I apologize for my Latvian accents and terrible pronunciation, but I'll do my best. Next to me we have Martin Engström, our artistic director. I also want you to know Miguel Esteban, our associate artistic director. No one needs introduction for everyone knows Andris Nelsons. Welcome. Christine Görke. We have Klaus Florian Vogt. We have Matthias Höfer and Volker Dreusen von Hanilton, both representatives of Bayreuth Festival Orchestra. Thank you so much and welcome. So yes, before we go to the most important part of our press conference, just let me give you a quick recap on how good we've done this year. So it's been a year of many surprises. And still we managed to have a wonderful, really wonderful festival. Total of 21 concerts, a total of 104 masterclasses, 3 musical stories. We also are continuing to produce documentary on Maris Jansson's legacy. And we had a great online conference on digital transformation in culture. Yes, so number-wise, and I'm sorry, I'm a number person, we welcome more than 15,000 visitors this year, which is exactly the same amount of visitors we welcomed in 2019 when we started the festival. So even with all the restrictions, even with having only vaccinated people in the room, we've managed to have a full halls, and they will be full also for both concerts that we are so eagerly waiting for. Yes, we're very proud to hear such warm words about festival, about the program, about the hospitality, about the warmth of the audience, and we intend to continue that way. And now, yes, last but not the least, I want to remind that we are almost not supported at all by government and municipalities. So this is fully privately funded Festival tickets cover less than 1/6 part of our expenses. So many thanks to our extremely generous trustees, which are both private individuals, but also companies. And there are quite a few of them, but tonight we'll be joined by our new partner, which is Credit Suisse. So thank you so much. So thank you to the team, and I'll passing the floor to Martin.
Thank you very much, Sanne. This is the last weekend of our 2021 Riga Jormala Music Festival, and it feels that we have gone on much longer than 2 editions. This is only the 2nd edition. I feel that we have made a dent in the European landscape of music festivals. We have our own profile, and I must say I'm very glad and proud of what Miguel and I have achieved here together. I would also like to thank from my side the President of the Board of Trustees, Peter Aven, for his vision and his enthusiasm in making sure that the festival will continue. For all music institutions in the world, this has been a very problematic year. And you say that 2 orchestras have cancelled. I have 4 orchestras who cancelled this summer. So this, luckily you're here, but you came. There was another orchestra who was supposed to come with you. So there was, I don't know how many times we reshuffled the festival, but we always had strong quality on stage, and I'm glad that we could finish the festival. Well, it's not quite finished, but that we could finish the festival as well as we did. When we started the Riga Jormala Music Festival, one of the artistic goals was to create a long-term relationship with Maris Jansons and Andris Nelsons. And unfortunately, the festival started without Maris, but through several initiatives, we have managed to keep his name alive. And we do invite the Bavarian Radio Orchestra every summer, but as you know, this summer we had created the Maris Jansons Festival Orchestra, and this might be something we will continue with also. And we're also working on a documentary on the life of Maris Jansons. With Andris Nelsons, this is the first installment of a long-term relationship, and we have many plans, and I very much look forward to welcome you, me as a Swede, you as a Latvian, back to the festival. So let me ask some questions, moderate some questions about the Bayreuth Festival Orchestra. So the Bayreuth Orchestra, as we all know, has been the resident orchestra of Bayreuth for 150 years. Very few conductors have toured them. Very few conductors have actually performed with them on stage in Bayreuth. Could you tell us a little bit about what is the difference in performing with them on stage as it is to in the pit?
Yes, thank you very much, Martin, and labvakar. Yeah, so I think from the first moment I was in Bayreuth, which was 2010, there was a new production of Lohengrin. We started to rehearse. From the first moment, I can just fully say that, can you imagine the orchestra who are gathered from the different cities and orchestras in Germany, and everyone, 100%, if not more, are so passionate about Wagner's music. They love Wagner's music. They enjoy the lengthiness of Wagner operas as well. And there is it is very unique, you know. And even if they would not like the conductor, or let's say maybe somebody, it's still they love and give 100% because that's what they love. And I'm saying, of course, they're wonderful orchestras, you know, loving this music and performing it also wonderfully. But there is something so unique in Bayreuth, of course, which is the orchestra, and that's the basic of the festival. And of course, playing with the orchestra in the pit in the Bayreuth, it's a wonderful experience, but it's really challenging and very mystic feeling, because the balance between the sound balance between the stage and the orchestra pit is very challenging, because for the conductor, for example, when I'm in the pit, I hardly hear what happens on the stage, but I hear very well what happens in the orchestra, particularly from the brass instruments. And so this is a challenge. When is the timing in terms of the ensemble as well? So there are many things which are challenging, but at the end of the day, that's all sorts itself out. And firstly, of course, also because the orchestra knows how to play, how to make the right balance, and yeah, playing in the pit is amazing with them. Playing on the stage is also amazing, because still we have the same orchestra, and it's so nice. I find it so nice on this tour that actually the people can see the orchestra, because normally, you know, the Wagner lovers going to Bayreuth, of course, they normally don't see the orchestra. They see a conductor at the end, sweaty conductor, who is putting because in the pit, you know, everyone plays. It's very hot. Everyone plays in t-shirts and shorts, and as well as I did. But for the bow, always at the end, and then the conductor puts the jacket, and you know, everyone thinks, oh, poor man was in this heat, was in the pit, but actually we just put it in the last moment. Yes, but so again, it's amazing orchestra, and it's great to see them on stage as well. And of course, Wagner, we can't imagine Wagner's music without the singers, you know. And we have such a privilege to have such a great team and great singers as Christine Görke and Klaus Florian Vogt, and also we have our bass baritone Gunther Kreuzberg coming for the second concert. He sings Hunding, and so these amazing soloists who know what it is to sing Wagner, and what it means, and what it needs to bring through the audience. And so I'm the most lucky person in between all these wonderful musicians, because I can enjoy it from the distance a little bit, you know. So yeah, so that's very special.
Richard Wagner was music director here in Riga for 2 years. Did that influence your musical upbringing? Do you have a different relationship to Wagner, you think, because of that?
You know, I don't know. They say now that you can, giving your DNA, you can find out where you come, where do you come from, and maybe, well, I don't think the Wagner has done anything bad towards my family, but sorry, but I think that, for me personally, I think most of people, musicians who have studied or lived here or learned, it feels that equally, I would say, the Slavonic music, if it's, let's say, if it's Tchaikovsky or Rachmaninoff or Shostakovich, or it's Germanic, you know, Wagner, Mahler, Brahms, and Beethoven. When performing, we kind of feel that we understand what the roots are saying to us. You know, we understand where they're coming from and from which tradition, and it feels as it's part of our. And I personally, and I think so many people, I feel that this Wagner's, the Wagner sound and the Wagner intensity and this, deep, long phrases, also very, very flexible and very, very intimate at moments, like, when you have the, Valkyrie, the duet of Sieglinde and Sigmund. It's so transparent and so you can, well, what was the question?
About Wagner and your relationship to Wagner.
Yeah, so that feels, that's, it's just somebody is telling you what to do, and I just think I think because I've been infected by his music very early, that's also played a role, certainly at an early age. So
Mr. Vogt, you're probably one of the most experienced Wagner singers around, and you're certainly the most experienced Bayreuth performer of the group here. You have sang more title roles than I think most of your colleagues. Now you are up on stage with Valkyrie. Can you tell us a little bit your experiences in singing in Bayreuth, and then how you transpose that scenic experience to the concert stage?
Yes, of course. Hi. First of all, I have to say that it's a big honor for me to sing in Bayreuth, to be here, to sing with this wonderful orchestra, with this wonderful conductor and this colleague here. And my experience with Wagner, and I have to say, I think without Wagner, I don't think that I had become a singer. So my influence, I'm so influenced by Wagner, and I had the opportunity to visit some rehearsals in a very early time, and that influenced me so much that I thought about, that would be great if I could do this stuff one day, and now it is like that, and it's in Bayreuth, and to sing in Bayreuth on stage is a really special experience. On one hand, this acoustic in the house is wonderful. It's wonderful to sing there, and on the other side, the sound that you get by the orchestra is totally, also on stage, is totally different than in other houses, because what you said, you hear the brass and the wind players are really loud. On stage, you can't hear them at all. You only get a string sound, kind of a string sound. And so you lose this metrum sometimes, because the metrum is made by the brass and the wind players, and you can't hear them very well. And so you are really you really need a good conductor. And the special thing in Bayreuth is that the sound out of the pit gets first to the stage and then outside to the audience, because of this covering and of the pit, and because of that you have to be aware to sing not too early, and to wait for the sound that you get out of the pit. And this is a really special thing. And this is also different if you get the orchestra, this wonderful orchestra, behind you on the stage, because then this delay of sound is not anymore present. So you can sing much more normal, I think. And I had the great opportunity to watch the second parts of our concerts from the audience, and I can tell you it's really special, and I'm really proud to be part of this group.
Normally, acoustics are done for artists to feel good, but you're both complaining about the acoustics. So, what is so special with Bayreuth?
Oh, I'm not complaining.
Okay.
I'm not complaining. This coverage of the orchestra in Bayreuth is really nice, because you will never get covered by the orchestra, so you can sing really relaxed, and also the house reflects very well, and you can do it very kind of easy. But to tell about the Wagner music, my experience is that you always have to give 100% and to be involved 100%. And even if you don't want it prior to a rehearsal or something, this music gets you in so much that you can't refuse, and you can't get out of it. That's really interesting.
Ms. Gerke, you are a very experienced Wagner singer, but if I'm not wrong, this was your debut at the Bayreuth Festival. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience, and was Mr. Wagner present?
Well, I didn't look, but it was in fact my debut. And just first, I would just like to say something that you were saying about the special acoustic. I've not had the great fortune of actually singing with this unbelievable orchestra in the pit. My debut, I had 100 people, is this behind me, which I can tell you, friends, is the most miraculous feeling ever. But I think that the magic of the acoustic in the house is, in fact, not what we feel on stage when the orchestra is in the pit, not what the orchestra feels in the pit, but in fact, the miraculous part of that acoustic is by the time it gets to the audience, the mix is perfect. And that is something that, as I understand, Herr Wagner took from the house here. That is something that he paid attention to the pit here. So he brought so many ideas. So in fact, I thank all of you for that. It is in fact my first time singing with this incredible orchestra. And like Klaus, I started out singing Mozart and Handel, but I was bitten by the Wagner bug very early, and I loved this music, and I too thought, I hope someday that I can do this. And any singer who wants to sing this repertoire has a dream to work with this orchestra in that house. And I have not only been lucky enough to do that, but I've been able to do it with this maestro. And so for me, it is an unbelievable pleasure. And I think that you will agree that it can be dangerous when there are 100 people on stage, and when it's 100 to 1, generally one can lose. But there is never a moment that I ever feel as though I will be lost, because when the music is in the hands of astounding musicians and a wonderful, giving, joyful conductor, then magic happens. And so I am very anxious for you all to hear these concerts, and I'm very proud to be here.
Thank you. So finally, Mr. Droysen von Hamilton or Mr. Höfer, you've spent many years organizing the Bayreuth Festival Orchestra. Are there any special criteria for a musician to perform in this orchestra? Does he need certain stamina, for instance?
First of all, we're honored to be here, and I have to give back that so fantastic that we can work with Andris Nelsons again. Thank you very much for the concerts we could have. Thank you very much for the wonderful singing in the concerts. And now the question was why we play in Bayreuth. And that's, you must have a great passion, of course, for the music of Wagner. And if you got the virus, you won't fight a vaccination against it. If you're hooked by it, you want to do it every summer. And even we are all playing in different orchestras in Germany, in Europe, and spend more than our summer holidays on the Green Hill in Bayreuth. For example, this year we started on 1st of July with the rehearsals, and the last concert of the festival was 25th of August. And if it's possible, you try to be the whole time in Bayreuth. Some with families, they were children who grew up there. So you have to have this passion, and it's difficult to explain what fits. But if someone is sensitive, that will fit in the section where he's playing. So difficult to explain, but there are different ways to come to the festival orchestra. That, of course, someone is making a break or is going to retirement or whatever, and so the sections and the Katharina Wagner are thinking about who could come next and replace. Of course, we see that guys from all over say, "Oh, we would like to try if it's our cup of tea." Maybe the sections say, "There is a colleague I know. He has a fever for that and wants to come." And then you must try it, and you will know it after one summer if it's your world or not.
Thank you very much. I think we're all very much looking forward to the two concerts. This is two very important concerts for Riga, so it's wonderful to have you here. Before opening up for questions and answers, just want to ask you, Andris, if you want to say something more, if you want to add something to the discussion, or are you happy?
As I thought with your earlier conversations, I'm very happy, certainly. And as you say, there is maybe something, when we look to the Latvian mentality, which are mostly quite shy people, but there's a lot happening inside, and sometimes it's even good that we don't know what is happening inside and it doesn't come out. But there is a lot inside, and we are quite shy. And you know, a wonderful colleague from the orchestra, you said absolutely right, perfect things about what the orchestra feels, but I felt that you were also shy, and I think there is something that the music of Wagner, as you said very rightly, there is no vaccine against when you get this virus, and then the music just grabs you, and I think what I just wanted to say that you don't have to be a very whatever macho-like, very outspoken, very active or very public in your life in order to perform Wagner or listen to Wagner. So, because sometimes the music in ta-tam, pa-pim, ta-ta-ta, it has this majestic but you know, but we are all quite shy. So so I think that's what we have inside, and I think it's therefore for every listener who listens Wagner, I still want to encourage, if somebody is thinking, well, Wagner, you know, the length of it's very long, and it's and it's in German, and and you know, I'm sorry, just sometimes tell us how you. But and it's not. It's not a German, exactly. Yeah, but it's, as you said, it's just a virus which we are so happy that we have that, and you know, I just wanted to invite to the concerts and just enjoy, and why saying shy or not shy, I was just thinking that that Wagner is for everyone, and it's so great to have an intimate, sensitive relationship with Wagner. So basically, every of us who are listening or performing, we did develop the line directly to Wagner's music, and nobody can tell us, oh, you're listening the wrong way, or you should listen different way, or feel something different. I think it's what I think Wagner also would want is to develop a direct line with each individual, and I think that's what happens, and that's what gathers us together. It's a passion for this music, and that's what counts, and that's when the musicians also, you know, we want to invite our audience, without whom we wouldn't be able, of course, to enjoy that as much. Sorry.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Any questions now to, yeah?
Es latviski pajautāšu Andrim, man liekas, vai tas ir nejauši, bet jūs ļoti pēdējos gadus līdzīgi Bramsam, Georgsam, vai tiešām tā, vai man liekas? Jūs ļoti līdzīgi Bramsam. Vizuāli, jā, vizuāli. Kad es skatos televīziju, vai tas persēl vai ko?
Es domāju, jūs man atgādiniet, nē, es nezinu, ko teikt. Es mīlu Brāmsa mūziku, ļoti mīlu Brāmsa mūziku, un vai tas bija mājiens, ka būtu jādzen bārdi nost, ne? Jā, Brāmsa mūziku ļoti mīlu, jā, bet es domāju,
Okay. My question is to Mr. Angstrom. First of all, thanks a lot for these marvelous programs and fantastic musicians. And my question is about the future. Of course, I understand it's very problematic, but how long is this programming for 10 years or 15 years here in Riga Jūrmala? Thank you.
Well, it's a good question. So I think in the long run, there should always be a good balance between public and private money. And we are very much in the beginning. We have a very strong group of trustees, very motivated, very connected with Latvia. And the rest is in the stars. We are fighting for it, and we hope, Miguel and I, we are working on 22, 23. We are optimists.
Jā. Man ir jautājums Andrim. Es atceros vienu preses konferenci šeit pat, šajās pašās telpās. Un tad tu teici, ka nākamreiz es atbraukšu tad, kad būs uzcelta koncerta zāle Rīgā. Varbūt ir kaut kas sakāms par to, par koncerta zāļu lietām tagad.
Jā. Jā. Kopumā es gribēju skaidrs teikt, ka mums Rīgai skaidrs, mums vajag koncerta zāli, un tagad jau, man liekas, pieminot šo vārdu, šo teikumu, tas daudziem būtu asociējies ar kaut kādu riebumu vai kaut kādu, vai kaut ko ļoti nekonkrētu, vai arī kaut ko ļoti kādam izdevīgu un kādam neizdevīgu un tā tālāk. Bet tiešām, ja mēs skatāmies teiksim, šogad uz šo festivālu Jūrmala, cik daudz brīnišķīgi orķestri ir šos esot bijuši, un protams, oriģināli, ja nebūtu koronas laiks, būtu vēl daudz citi, un tā tālāk, un tā tiešām ir pasaules labākie mākslinieki, labākie orķestri, un tas, ka mums ir iespēja dzirdēt viņus šeit Latvijā, vai, teiksim, Jūrmalā vai Rīgā, tas ir kaut kas sevišķs, tad cilvēkiem, teiksim, lai dzirdētu šāda veida orķestrs, jābrauc vai nu uz Zalcburgas festivālu, ja grib dzirdēt, teiksim, klausīties, vai uz Lucernas festivālu, vai vēl kaut kur individuāli, lai dzirdētu kaut kāds konkrēts orķestrs, bet tāpēc es tik vienu varu teikt, ka mums konceptuāli vajag, un es atceros, ka mēs pēc koncerta, mums vienreiz bija tāda saruna, kad es biju domāju, ka tiešām vajag to koncertu zāli, bet es domāju, ka ar to, vai es atbraukšu tajā brīdī vai neatbraukšu, nekas tā nemainīsies. Un es domāju, ka tas ir, kā Mārtiņš teica, šo festivālu atbalsta viens speciāls kungs un sevišķi tīm, kā lai saka, tīm, tas ir komanda, jā, un ir tik daudz plānu, bet tas, man liekas, būtu tikai normāli, un ka šāda mēroga festivāla un šāda mēroga iespēja publikai dzirdēt, tas, man liekas, ka valdībai būtu tas būtu kaut kas sevišķs, ja vienkārši varētu kopā starp teiksim, valdību un privātu naudu kopā uzbūvēt koncertu zāli, kas savukārt vēl vairāk nestu Latvijas vārdu pasaulē, jo cilvēkiem būtu vēl lielāka interese atbraukt, ja viņi zina, kad šeit ir ļoti laba koncertu zāle arī, jo pagaidām ir tā, ka skaidrs, ka redzot šos orķestrus, tas, kas ir ļoti pievilinoši un mākslinieks, un tas tiešām ļoti jauki, bet teiksim, ja cilvēki var izvēlēties, viņš var braukt uz Zalcburgu, vai es atvainojos, ka es atkal par ko es gribu teikt, ka mums šeit mums varētu veidoties kaut kas līdzīgs un arī kaut kas savādāks, kas būtu pavisam jauki, bet mums ir nepieciešama koncertu zāle, kas ir galvenais, ja orķestri brauc un spēlē. Koncertu zāle, tas ir ļoti svarīgs moments, un es saprotu, ka ir daudz dažādas runas, kā es personīgi vai nu es lasu kaut kur mēdījos, un nesen bija, pirms tagad gads pagājis vai vairāk, ka bija, man likās brīnišķīga vieta, un es domāju, tūl tas būs. Un izrādās, ka kādam noskauda, un tāpēc es saku, man tas jautājums ir liekas, man neērti pat runāt, jo tas ir, kad cilvēki sāk uz nerviem krist, mums vajag koncertu zāli, bet tiešām mums vajag to koncertu zāli, bet es atceros, I'm sorry, we're talking about the politics, so don't worry.
I agree with you, whatever you said. Sounds very right.
Jā, bet skaidrs, ka tas būtu brīnišķīgi, un tas tikai palielinātu cilvēkus, kas brauktu šo festivālu arī no ārzemēm, un mums pašiem būtu liels prieks. Tas vienkārši, paldies, Ines, atgādināja.
Latvijas radio programma Klasika. Vienā no pavisam nesenām recenzijām, ja nemaldos, izdevumā Allegro, šī recenzija stāstot par Andra Nelsona un Baireitas festivāla orķestra koncertiem 21. un 22. Augustā Baireitā sāks ar vārdiem, ka apmēram tā, ka pēc 2016. gada skandalozajiem notikumiem, kad Andris Nelsons atteicās iestudēt Parsifālu, viņš ar 2 koncertiem ir atgriezies Baireitā. Andri, vai jūs nevarētu atgādināt, kas tie bija pa skandaloziem notikumiem?
Es tikai varu pateikt, ka Man ir liels prieks atgriezties šogad. Un tas ir brīnišķīgs teātris, brīnišķīgiem māksliniekiem un orķestri. Jā, es pat nekāds skandāls jau nebija īstenībā. Nē, es domāju, ka ir arī tā kā Vāgners savā dzīvē, kā cilvēks, ir bijis diezgan, kā mēs zinām, daudzveidīga, daudzpusīga personība. Tad ir ik pa laikam Bairētas festivālā, kā mēs zinām, ir kaut kādas tādas maziņas drāmiņas. Bet tas gan vai tāda sajūta, ka viņš gan piedien pie Vāgnera kā viņa personības. Bet tas varbūt tas ir muļķīgi, ko es saku. Īstenībā man ļoti liels prieks atgriezties un Vāgnera mūziku es vienmēr mīlēs, un tas tā vienmēr paliks un atgriezties pie orķestra. Mēs orķestrām tie paši pirms 2010. gadā, un Klaus Florians bija Lohengrīns, un tas viss lietas mainās, bet arī kaut kādā veidā tās paliek, un tās stiprina mūs kopā. Un tā kā es nevaru iepazīstināt nekādas lielas drāmas, kā teikt, nebija.
Man ir jautājums Zanei. Atkal par nākotni un programmēšanu. Pirmkārt, vai nav doma nedaudz paplašināt vai rāmjus, jo patreiz pārsvar tie simfoniskie koncerti, pārsvara klavieru solo programmas un nedaudz dziedātāji. Vai nav doma aicināt arī pasaules mērogu, piemēram, Stīgu kvartets? Ja būs zāles, tā kā liela ģilde pēc remonta, ja mēs varam skatīties tālāk uz priekšu. Un turpinājumu šitam jautājumu bija taču kolosāla ideja, lai šeit spēlētu Čikāgas orķestris, kas ir tiešām viens no grandiem. Vai jūs neatmetat domu, varbūt vēlāk tomēr aicināt un ne tikai Čikāgas, bet arī citas ASV orķestris? Paldies!
Tas īstenībā būtu vairāk jautājums mākslinieckai komandai, bet pavisam īsti atbildot, kā saka, māksliniecisko koncepciju un formātu mēs neplānojam tuvāko 5 gadu laikā mainīt. Mēs uzskatām tiešām, ka šis ir tikai 2. gads, kad mēs pilnvērtīgi varam strādāt, bet šīs koncepcijas ietveros, kā saka, iekļaujās arī viss jūs minētais. Jūs ziniet, bija paredzēts Čikāgas simfoniskam orķestram būt šeit. Viņi atcēla jau pēc programmas izziņošanas 27. augustā. Mēs bijām ļoti tuvu, lai izziņot vienu citu brīnišķīgu Amerikas orķestra uzstāšanos, un varbūt izziņosim oktobrī vēl 3. cita orķestra uzstāšanos nākamgad. Tā kā viss notiek, mākslinieckā komanda tiešām strādā dienu un nakti, kā mēs redzam stūrī, un mūs sagaida daudz brīnišķīgi mūziķi, mākslinieki arī turpmākajos gados. Faktiski 22. gada un 23. gada programma jau ir lielās līnijās iezīmēta.
Ja jau reiz ir stāsts par nākotni, tad es gribētu uzdot jautājumu par nākotni tieši Andrim, kā viņš redz savu nākotni tagad šajā, es pat nevaru, postpandēmijas vai pirms nākam pandēmijas laikā, cik optimistiski un cik konstruktīvi tu to redzi. Tu esi mūsējās, mums ir svarīgi, ko tu darīsi.
Paldies, jā, skaidrs, ka pandēmijas laiks ietekmēs ir kaut kādā mērā mūs visus un varbūt ilgāku laiku. Tā arī, diemžēl, paliks. Personīgi es aizstās uz maniem plāniem, un es esmu ļoti laimīgs, ka man ir 2 brīnišķīgi orķestri, ko es saku, galvenais diriģents Bostonas simfoniskais orķestris un Gewandhaus orķestri Leipzig, kurus ar abiem orķestriem mums plānojas ļoti daudz uz priekšu, vairākus gadus, un arī sadarbības starp abiem orķestriem, arī tūres un ieraksti un programmas un tā tālāk. Līdz ar to tas tā, mēs skatāmies ka pāri ka pandēmijas laikam, ka skaidrs, ka tas citreiz tas ieved korekcijas, protams, ja kaut kas tāds traks notiek un mainās, bet kopumā mums ir pozitīvas domas un pozitīvi plāni un, jā, ar abiem orķestriem. Un arī, kas ir interesanti, ko mēs arī ar abiem orķestriem esam jau darījuši un šobrīd darām, ir pasūtinājumi darbi dažādiem komponistiem. Mums jau šobrīd ir vairāki komponisti, kuriem jau pasūtināt darbu un drīz būs gatavi. Un piemēram, Jorgs Vidmans trompeta koncerts, kas ir pirmais skaņots būs pēc 3 nedēļām Leipzigā ar pasaules slaveno trompetistu Hakanu Hardenbergeru. Un Jorgs Vidmans, kā mēs zinām, man personīgi ir viens no tuviem komponistiem, arī kā draugs. Un vairāki Sofija Gubēt-Duļina un jaunās paudzes komponisti arī no dažādām, kā teikt, different backgrounds, diverse backgrounds, kā tas sanāk. Jā, tas arī interesanti, tas ir kā sastāvdaļa mūsu aliansē. Un tā kā mums daudz pozitīvas domas un daudz pozitīvu plānu. Un protams, mēs visi šajā laikā esam noieguvušies tik daudz pēc publikas, pēc dalīšanās. Un tagad, jā, ar lielu cerību un lielu optimismu gaidām šo nākamo sezonu, kas septembrī tūlīt jau pirms Leipzigas atklāšanas sezonas ir jau pēc aiznākam nedēļu, un tad ir pēc tam atkal Bostona. Un tā, jā.
Paldies. I think we're losing our English-speaking friends, so I think we'll round up the official part of press conference. I really hope that the artists will have some minutes to stay around and answer individual questions. So feel free. And then just to remind, I will remind you, yes, that tonight we have, of course, all focuses on 2 concerts, the most anticipated concerts, but we also have Liv Ove Ansnes tonight and Maria Joa Pires on Sunday night, and 2 wonderful young musicians on Saturday and Sunday morning, Mao Fujita and Mark Buchkov with Mao Fujita. So everyone welcome. And also, as we finish, we promised something for dessert, and you're actually the first ones to find out the dates for next year's festival without names yet. So we will have another press conference in October. But you can already put down the dates for next year. It stretches over all summer. We'll start in 1st of July and we'll finish on the 11th of September. So bear with us. You'll find out the full program very soon now. Thank you so much for coming, and we're looking forward to see all of you in all of these amazing concerts. Thank you so much for participation. Thank you.